Hey there! Before we dive into today's incredible story, take a moment to imagine this. You're young, wealthy, part of one of the most powerful royal families in the world, and your whole life lies ahead of you. Then, in just one split second, everything changes. This is the remarkable story of Saudi Arabia's sleeping prince, Prince Al-Walid bin Khalid, who has been in a coma for nearly 20 years. But wait, there's so much more to this story than you might think. Some truly miraculous things have happened, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why millions around the world are still holding on to hope for his recovery. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button and notification bell, because trust me, you won't want to miss the incredible stories we share here. The year was 1987, and in the opulent palaces of Saudi Arabia, a special prince was born. Prince Al-Walid came into this world with a silver spoon, but don't let that fool you. This wasn't your typical spoiled royal child. Born to Prince Khalid bin Talal, a prominent businessman and member of the House of Saud, and Princess Jazzy, daughter of King Saud bin Abdulaziz, Al-Walid was named after his famous uncle, Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, who was once counted among the world's richest men. Now, here's something fascinating about young Al-Walid that most people don't know. While other kids were just learning to tie their shoelaces, this incredible young prince had already earned 2 karate belts by the age of 4. Can you imagine that? A tiny prince, barely taller than a coffee table, already mastering martial arts. But that's not all. He was also passionate about horse riding and car racing, showing an adventurous spirit that would later play a crucial role in his story. Growing up in the Saudi royal family wasn't just about luxury and privilege for Al-Walid. His father, Prince Khalid, had bigger plans for his son. You see, he wanted Al-Walid to be different from other royal children. He wanted him to understand responsibility, leadership, and the true meaning of privilege. That's why, at the age of 16, young Al-Walid was sent to a military college in London. Think about that for a moment. A teenage prince leaving behind the comfort of his palace to embrace military discipline and training. But fate had other plans, and this is where our story takes its first dark turn. It was 2005, and Al-Walid was just 18 years old. You know that feeling when parents have a gut instinct about something? Well, on that fateful night, Prince Khalid had a strange premonition. He didn't want his son to go out. It was one of those moments that would haunt him forever. Should he have listened to his instinct? Should he have put his foot down? But like many teenagers, Al-Walid and his 2 friends managed to convince him, and permission was granted. What happened next would change not just one life, but the lives of an entire family and capture the attention of millions around the world. Prince Al-Walid was involved in a devastating car accident, driving at high speed with 2 friends when the crash occurred. The impact left him with severe injuries and in a deep coma. But what happened in those final moments of consciousness reveals everything you need to know about Prince Al-Walid's character. As he lay there, seriously injured, his first and only words before slipping into a coma were, "How are my friends doing?" Not worried about himself, not thinking about his own pain. His only concern was for others. Fortunately, his friends survived the accident, but Al-Walid's journey was just beginning. The medical response was unprecedented. Think about this. 3 American doctors and 1 Spanish specialist, all brought in to save the young prince's life. The bleeding in his brain was severe, and the prognosis was grim. The doctors gave him just 72 hours to live. In fact, the situation was so dire that at one point they turned off the machines, and news of his death was actually announced. This is where the story takes an incredible turn. Prince Khalid, Al-Walid's father, faced what might be the most difficult decision any parent could face. Should he keep his son on life support? His response would echo through the years and inspire millions. He said, "Who am I to take his life?" If God had wanted him to die in the accident, he would have been buried already. The first 18 months were the hardest. No response, no movement, just the steady beep of medical machines. But then something extraordinary happened. Al-Walid started breathing on his own, 3 whole months without mechanical ventilation. It was like a tiny flame of hope in the darkest night. Let me take you to 2016, a pivotal year in this story. After more than a decade in the hospital, the prince was moved to his family home in Riyadh. Despite being in a coma, Al-Walid started showing signs of awareness that puzzled even the medical experts. He began responding to specific people. Certain doctors, nurses, and family members could elicit reactions from him that others couldn't. But wait until you hear what happened in 2019. His aunt, Princess Rima bint Talal, shared a video that sent shockwaves through social media. The video showed Prince Al-Walid moving his head from left to right. And just when people thought that was miraculous enough, another video surfaced a year later. In this one, he wasn't just moving. He was actually responding to commands, moving his fingers and raising his hand when asked. Now, let me share something that might bring tears to your eyes. Recently, a beautiful detail about the prince's life emerged on Saudi social media, the story of his fiancée. Before the accident, Al-Walid was engaged to his cousin in a modest ceremony. What happened next is the stuff of fairy tales, except it's absolutely real. This remarkable woman has been waiting for him for 20 years. She's turned down every marriage proposal, saying she'll wait for him her entire life if that's what it takes. In a world where relationships often don't survive a few months of hardship, imagine the depth of love it takes to wait 2 decades for someone. The medical aspects of this case are fascinating too. Doctors have observed something unusual about Prince Al-Walid's condition. Unlike typical coma patients, he's aging normally, gaining weight, and showing consistent responses to stimuli. These signs have sparked hope among medical professionals. Could this be different from other cases? After all, medical history has shown us that miracles do happen. Take the case of Munira Abdullah, for example, a woman who woke up in 2019 after spending 27 years in a coma. Her story sent ripples of hope through families of coma patients worldwide. Today, Prince Al-Walid is almost 38 years old. Think about that. He spent more than half his life in this state of limbo. The world has changed dramatically during his sleep. When he fell into the coma, there was no iPhone, no Instagram, no Twitter. Barack Obama hadn't even announced his presidential candidacy yet. The world he might wake up to would be vastly different from the one he left behind. Here's a story that shows we're all vulnerable to fate's unpredictable turns. But it also shows us the incredible strength of the human spirit. Through a father's undying hope, a fiancé's eternal loyalty, and a family's unwavering faith. Before we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect. What would you do if you were in Prince Khalid's position? Would you have the strength to keep hoping for 20 years? And what about his fiancée? Could you wait that long for someone you love? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective on this incredible story. If you enjoyed the video and want more content like this, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you get notified when I upload a new video. See you in the next video!